We're gonna do a song that you never heard before. The volume.
Here they come and get wicked. Here we go again.
And it's Kennedy, my brother from another mother.
What's up?
Hey man, this lottery is over $1 billion, man. You playing?
Yes, sir.
I have not, but I am planning on playing though, bro. What's the first thing you doing? You hit that lottery.
Paying off bills.
Paying off bills. I don't even know if I'm gonna pay off bills first, bro. I don't even know if I'm gonna pay off bills first.
I want to feel what it feels like to be debt free again, like to not owe anybody, right? Before I just start, like I want to make sure that I take care of responsibilities before I do stuff irresponsibly.
Thanks. See, I think that for me, I would look at it like this. That I would take. So my thinking is, I think I'll always find a way to be at least okay. So I would try to take care of everybody else and those things before.
Oh, I know.
Really start to dive
I mean,
into
you are like that
myself.
in real life. You don't
So,
do stuff for yourself on a regular. So
yeah, that's yeah. I actually had a long conversation with the fellas about that. A couple of weeks, actually last weekend though, man, where we were talking about when I say I get buyer's remorse or looking out for everybody else and everything. Had a long conversation with the guys about it, and it was pretty cool though, man. Trying to get better at it, but I just also know that at the same time for this, like the lottery, yeah, I think that there are people who I think that I would probably, yeah, I want to make sure that I'm cool. But before I buy anything big, of course, I'd want to, you just say you get with a financial advisor and all sorts of stuff. But there are some people that I want to make sure I'm straight before I go ahead and start doing my thing, though. Yeah.
yeah. Well, look, we got a lot to talk about. We got some breaking news that we're gonna hit right after we get this music popping off. And yeah, we got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Let's do it, man.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast.
If you smell what the rock. It doesn't matter what your name
The
is.
Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time.
Hey, listen, if you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe to the Slash Brothers YouTube, Facebook, and our TikTok page. We're live on both platforms at the same time. Whenever you click on the notification, you click on the bell, you get the heads up whenever your boys Ace and Charlie is doing their thing. Ace Kennedy.
Hit the wrong one, but that's all good.
What would be the first sign that you hit the lottery, bro?
What would be the first sign?
Yes. That somebody be like, he might have came into some new money.
That's the thing. I don't think I would broadcast it. Like you definitely would get a bat signal, and I don't know what I would send you yet. Like it would be probably some gift or something. When I say gift, not as in present, talking about in your text message. Yeah, I would still go to work the next day. We was talking about that at work today. Like, yeah, like, bruh, I would still be at work.
I think I would. I think I would until I got all of my finances and everything in order, right? And until I start seeing the O's in my bank account, I would still say that, you got insurance and things like that for people that you still have to account for. And so until that's all squared away, yeah, it's retirement early though, but I still would want to go ahead and go about my day like regular though.
See, I love my job too much to just be like, I'm done. Like, I just do. So it's no need
Yep.
of me. Like, that's for me, that's another long-term income that I'm still working on. So, like, I know I'll be straight, but when I say I'm trying to start the generational wealth, like everything, bro, everything. So
Mm.
I ain't gonna just neglect what I already built. You know what I'm saying? Just because I came into some money, like, yeah, it would be some
Give me the
sign.
breaking news though. Let's get into give me the breaking news though. Let's get it.
Breaking news: Terrence Bud Crawford retires from boxing.
Okay, here's my thing. Okay, I'm looking at it like this. I don't think that it's real, bro.
You don't think it's real?
I don't. I don't think that. I don't think that he's really gonna retire. I think that it's fight hype. It's part of the thing because here's the reason why I say that. I just don't believe that you could, in sound mind, make so little out of the bigger piece of a pie for a fight and then you walk off. Listen, and it's possible, right? But I'm saying that he's probably leaving. They said that when they said Canelo made like $100 million the last time they fought, right? And my thing is that now that you're the champion, even if you are gonna retire, I think that you are then, if I'm him saying, no, I'm old, $100 million fight as well, where I make $100 million. And if that's my last fight, then that's fine.
I get it, but what do you? I mean, outside of the money piece, what you just said, what is there left for him to prove?
Well, so I think that to me, listen, if he's really retired, then technically you're right. There's nothing. He beat the guy that everybody else said was unbeatable, right? And to do it twice, it wouldn't necessarily have I guess it wouldn't have the allure if you did it though. I just think that to me, if you walk away now, then it's almost like he's kind of in that Andre Ward territory where you walk off and you haven't been beaten and you walk out on top. And you still could have had some other fights in you, though, right? That you could have just got, you could have milked it for the money. I just think that so there he may feel like there are some fights that he hasn't had the opportunity to fight because people wouldn't fight him. Now that he has the belt and the money, they do want to fight him. So he might just be like, no, I'm good. I just think that I just think for the money alone, I would say that he should be due for at least $100 million fight though. I just don't see how you walk away from that. Now, it brings me up to another question, and I'll let you tell me more about what you think about it though first.
I mean, I think it's fine. I don't think he has anything left to prove, and now you can just be a commentator for the sport, a safe, uh, and get the bag because somebody would want to pick him up just to talk boxing. So now you're in a safe environment to just make the bag. He don't need to fight nobody else. I mean, it's just like why would you risk somebody getting lucky? Because you one punch away from being knocked out.
Let me ask you this. This brings me to a question. And you know me, and when it comes to me and lists, where does this rank? And put together a list of all time in sports where someone walked away earlier than what people would have expected, where you thought, oh, they still had some prime left.
Barry Sanders,
Give me five that comes off. Barry Sanders. Yep.
um, Bud, John Jones, It's about as all I can really.
See, I would go just because of boxing. Andre Ward, he retired as a champion. But I think that, to be honest, wins, losses, when you think about it, probably equivalent. Outside of him having the big cherry on the top with Canelo, I would say Megatron. Megatron retired a little early as well. Patrick Willis, for the 49ers, retired really early. I think after maybe 7 seasons, 8 seasons, and if I'm not mistaken, like at least 6 of the 7 seasons that he played, he was all pro or at least Pro Bowl, and he retired very early.
I think Melo retired too early too.
Who's that?
Carmelo Anthony.
I don't think Carmelo Anthony retired too early though,
I do
bro. I
too.
think he
I
retired
do.
on time.
No. See, the media retired Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony still had more to give. He just didn't find the right situation. He got forced out. It wasn't that he still couldn't play. It wasn't that he still couldn't get buckets. He got forced out the league. And so to me, he retired early. He's in the class of LeBron then, bro.
Hold on. See, hold on. I think that the only problem that I have with the Melo is that Melo still can play. But I'm saying that playing at the Melo you remember, the elite level, right? It's like how Kobe said, that what you think I'm gonna do? You think you look at me and you think I'm a hang around in the league and just be a bench player, a role player? Like, nah, I'm gonna go out the way you saw me at the last time you saw me at my height, right? And he retired as such. LeBron's the same way though, right? LeBron's transforming his game, but he's to me, LeBron James is still top 20 player in the NBA though, right?
You are
I
right.
I don't look at Melo when he retired that he was still like a top 20 player.
Okay, I understand that, right? But to me, everybody doesn't have to be Kobe and everybody doesn't have to be LeBron. There's people like a Vince Carter that still left the game when he wanted to leave the game and he transitioned his game, right?
Yeah.
Vince wasn't out there dunking on everybody. So what did he do? He developed a jump shot. You know what I'm saying? He was still a viable option for teams. He didn't have to be the man. He didn't have to be the thing, but he went out on his own terms. My thing is this: when I say he retired early, he retired before he wanted to retire. So my thing is, if Melo,
I guess about this list though, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I guess when I'm thinking about this list, I'm talking about athletes who have retired while still in their prime. I think Melo was well outside of his prime though.
See, but I understand what you're saying, and I don't necessarily think that. I just don't think. I think the league forced Melo. Like the narrative, it's the same. It's the same narrative people are saying about Russ, right? They wanted Russ to retire 2 years ago. They wanted Lakers Russ to retire, right? Then he went to the Clippers and balled out. He went to Denver and balled out. He's balling out with the Kings. So my thing is that why? That's what I'm saying. Like people are putting these people in these boxes of saying they're past their prime. Russ still has a lot to give. To me, I felt like Melo did too. Like when Oklahoma City Thunder wanted Melo to come off the bench, he was like, "Nah, I'm not trying to do that." Right? He went to some situations where people wanted something different from him. They forced him out. I still think Melo in the right situation. And this is going to be a bad comparison. I know it's going to be a bad comparison, but you'll understand what I'm trying to say. Melo should have been in the position that Paul George is in. Like Paul George definitely ain't in his prime, but he still, when healthy, Paul George can still produce points.
Paul George is much younger than Carmelo Anthony at the point of the comparison, though, right? Don't get me wrong. It would be like Paul George in 3 years still playing. Well, yeah, he still might have a nice handle. He still might do, but if you that far outside of your prime, to me, I guess when I'm thinking about people, I'm talking about Gale Sayers, who only played 7 years, right? I'm talking about guys who were saying, not just saying that their ability to still play.
No, I understand
I'm just saying
exactly
that
what you're saying.
at their
You're saying
absolute prime.
you are. I know exactly what you're saying. We're saying the same thing. You're saying
I thought Melo's prime. Melo's
you.
prime was 7 years outside. Melo's prime was 7 years to me before he retired because I just think that his game, the dynamics of his game didn't transform the way I think Russ's did and the way LeBron's did to give him lasting power. If you're saying that, yeah, I need a guy who's going to come out here and be a 6'9" catch and shoot guy, that can be anybody. So I think that that's the reason why when people looked at Melo, they were just kind of like, all right, dude, for what it requires for you to be effective, I can have somebody a younger version of that.
Right, but how far removed are we from Hoodie Melo in the Olympics, though, bro?
That was like 8 years ago. He's been retired for 2 years now, and that Hoodie
And
Melo
forced
from
out
then
before
that
that.
may have been right. No, but I get that. But Hoodie Melo was like maybe 8, 9 years ago, maybe though.
Yeah, it was
That
8
was
years ago.
prime Knicks. So that's what I'm saying though. I thought that's what I'm saying. Even I guess for Melo to make this list, it would be for him to have retired 2 years before Hoodie Melo. That's what I mean. Like that's what I mean. When I'm talking about
I know
all-time
exactly
great
what you're
players,
saying. You're saying
but
people that are in their prime that just was like they clearly have a lot more to give. Like you said, Bud got fights left. Bud probably got 3-4 fights left in him, and he's just
he
like,
still got 2 more. I think Bud still has 2 more years of prime. Like
I
not just
know what you're
fighting, but
saying. That's
prime
what I'm saying.
fighting.
I know what you're saying. We
Yeah.
just don't agree on. We just don't agree. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
You're saying you literally said that you think Melo is 7 years removed from being in his prime, and I'm saying I thought he had
8
more left.
maybe.
Okay, but I'm
Maybe 8.
right, and I'm saying I felt like he had more. That's we are saying the same thing. We just don't
Yeah.
agree.
See, no, but I think that the Melo comparison, like I don't think that Melo would have been like KD, right? How KD is playing these same years, but KD still doesn't look like he's missed a beat at all,
I
right?
know, but I feel like okay. The reason why I say it's the right situation because when Melo was in Portland, he was still doing his thing. He was in a situation where he could get his shot off. He had the green light. He was out there knocking them down. He was down there doing his thing. And then teams just once the media got to talking about Melo should do this, Melo should do that, Melo was out the league, bro. And they was doing the same talks about Russ.
So this is my thing though, right? I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, it's like this though, man. I think that like this, KD in comparison is still giving you an efficient 26 points right off the bat, right? You can with KD's 26 points, his 30 points, you can still have other players thrive with his 26 is 27 though, right? I think even with Melo doing 16, I think that it's just a different kind of
Listen,
16 for him to be your power forward.
it's almost like you looking at Melo like how we look at Bradley Beal right now.
Yeah, the last couple of years, it was Bradley Beal. That's a good. It is the last few years of Melo is exactly how I look. And the only difference with Brad Beal is that Brad Beal, he's injured now, though, right? But I think that the fall off of Brad Beal needs to be investigated, though, bro, because I'm talking about he went from being able to score 30 to where nobody won him. And I think with Brad Beal, a lot of it is, to me, is his contract, right? It's like nobody wants him for the money you got to pay him, though, bro. But I think that with all things equal, though, bro, it's about that. Melo you got Melo. He's an all-time great player. And I think that a lot of teams didn't want to have to carry that weight and to cater to that style because you don't want to disrespect him by having him on the team and then not playing him, but you got to figure out where you got to put him in. And it's a lot, to me, it's a lot easier to me to have a guard who comes off the bench in that similar role. But because he's been a starter all his life, I respected the fact that he was willing to come off the bench to prolong his career because he still can listen. Melo's still mid-range and still was top 10 when he was in the league. I just think that it took a lot for a team to basically accommodate that versus you just having something like a Malik Monk come off the bench to basically put up the similar numbers.
And so exactly what you just said is what I said in the beginning. The right situation. That's what I said. So you saying You said there's teams that didn't want to accommodate his game, so he was
was there a right situation for him at that time? Right
There
at
was,
that time
there
before.
was, there are, it's the same conversation about teams that we were having the same conversation before Russ got signed this summer. The same conversation about what teams really could use Russ. We said that. We've said that.
But what teams? We'd have to go back and look at the tapes to see what teams could have used Melo in his last year or two like that, though, man. Like that, like this.
Or Orlando could have used Melo. I mean, any team that Philly could have used Melo. If you was gonna bring Paul George over there, you could have had Melo. You had Tobias Harris on your team. You could have used Melo. Like there are teams that could have used him. All I'm saying is he wasn't in the right situation. So the media forced him out and he had to retire. And again, I know what you were trying to ask. We just don't agree on where Melo stands when he got out. That's all I'm saying.
I think that in the NBA, especially, I think that it's very few times that we would be able to create a list like this and a player retires early, because in the NBA, it is about longevity. It's playing for as long as you can, because I think that in the NBA, there are fewer slots. That's a smaller percentage of players who's going to play. So you do try to extend it. But I think that in the NFL, you likely see guys that will say, "Hey, man, I'm done with the punch." Aaron Donald is another one that I think retired. Not that for him, he probably was just like, "Listen, I won a Super Bowl. I was a Pro Bowler every year of my career, though, bro, and I was an All Pro, in 8 of the 9 or 9 of the 10 seasons." I think that sure he probably could. I think he could play right now, but I think that he retiring is right around. Yeah, it was right. He retired when he probably felt like it was the right thing to do, but he still had a lot of but to have your health and your mind sound and everything, walk away on your own.
Even you look at like Chris Paul, right? Now the media is wanting for him to granted, he did come out and say he was gonna retire this year. But I'm saying just last year, he was over there helping San Antonio get to where he kickstarted them to be where they're at today, right? And so I understand.
I guess so. You know what I think though? I think that players like Chris Paul, though, man, should have like a retirement tour. When you finally announce this is your final season, like I remember when Adrian Mariano, or Adrian Mariano for the New York Yankees, when he announced that he was going to retire, and maybe it was someone else. Every city that he went to where it was going to be the last time they were going to play him, they gifted him something. Like every time he received something. I think that Chris Paul, I would love to see it. I think that that's what that's what Paul Pierce thought was going to happen in his last season. When Draymond Green was like, "What you thought you was going to go out like Kobe? They don't love you like that, though, bro." And I think when LeBron James announces his retirement, he should announce it and still have time to see fans from a city one more time. And I think in the NBA, because you play, 82 games, you have the ability to do that more. So for your all-time great players, I think that that this is an all-time great player. They're going to retire. I think that it's great to give them their flowers for what they did for the game. I think that like if you think about it though, all these guys is getting up there in their late 30s now, though, bro. And so within 4 years, you can see where all of these all-time great players now are all out of the league at the same time. No Russ, no KD, no Steph, no LeBron, no Draymond, no Paul George. No, now we don't have no Chris Paul. All of these guys there, man, is
dang, I can't believe you ain't put my boy Dame in there, bro.
Well, Dame is getting up there too, though, man. I forget.
You see what you just did to him? What you just did to him is when they was leaving him off the All-Star ballot every year.
That's true. That's so true. That's very true.
Speaking of retirements, John Cena just had his last match, and John said, "Listen, I know y'all seen other wrestlers that say they're gonna retire, and you see him have another match, one more match." He said, "I'm telling you right now, y'all are gonna be disappointed because I'm telling you, I gave everything. Like my body is over. I had some of the best matches of my career this last 15 months. I announced 15 months ago that I was retiring, and I had said amount of dates, and I gave y'all all of it. Whether y'all like the heel turn or not, I gave you something different. I tried to have a shirt for each city. Like I did all of these different things. You might not have liked how I tapped out at the end, but at the same time, I gave y'all everything. That's it. One of the great ones, and then hung up the boots in John Cena. What you think about it?
Okay, so I love that he said, "No, I'm all the way done. It ain't no one more matches for you."
Yeah.
I think that it would still be cool every now and again for him to make appearances. You know, when they bring the
No,
old
he
timers
will.
back.
He is an alumni. He will make
Yeah.
appearances. He might even host a WrestleMania. He's just saying he is not getting in the ring to do a match. He said, I'm not doing the Shawn Michaels Triple H in Saudi Arabia against Kane and Undertaker. We ain't doing that."
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, the only thing that I hate about it was that it was with Gunther, bro.
Okay,
I
well,
hate it.
who would you have wanted it to be?
So I'm gonna be honest with you. I would have loved for it to have been maybe one of these five people: Cody Rhodes,
He did that.
Seth Rollins,
He did that.
Roman Reigns.
He did that. No, he didn't.
Yeah, Roman. So Roman Reigns, uh, Kofi Kingston, or even your boy, Scottish Psychopath, Drew McIntyre. Drew
I
McIntyre.
was with you on the Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns probably the best one that you named. That would have been epic. I would have
Yes.
almost wanted him to have it against Obi Femi
Yeah, that would be great. That would be great too.
because then
To
you're
bring in the new,
yes,
you're
yes,
doing the official handoff.
yes.
Now, I'm going to tell you who I wouldn't mind it being. Who I don't even see. I don't. I have. You know, it's funny. Even when I've been more casually watching wrestling, I haven't seen Kevin Owens in like 2 years, though, bro.
He has a broken neck. He broke his neck when
Dang.
he was in a feud with Randy Orton. So he was supposed to fight Randy Orton at WrestleMania, and so that eliminated his match. So they brought Joe Henry from TNA
Oh
to
yeah,
fill in.
Randy. Give me Randy Orton. Give me Randy Orton. That's also on the list.
But
I just
he
think
did
that
that.
you got to really believe in Gunther to have him um be the guy, right? Like it's historic. It's like, and that's the thing. I think that's just the craziest thing to me. I like you got to really believe that Gunther is a historically great heel for him to be the one. I think like he is historically and incredibly boring to me. And I just look at that and I just think that there are better people who I personally think are more qualified to carry the all-time greatness of that.
You know, I would have honestly who I would have picked if I'm giving my top five, it would have either been like I said, the Roman Reigns one. That's a great one. Uh,
Yeah.
it would have been L.A. Knight. It would have
Mm.
been, but the problem is L.A. Knight. They got him in this mid card bubble thing that he's like. If they was gonna push him, that would have been a great torch to pass, right? Because LA Knight got that. He has the crowd, right? I would have did oh my gosh, I definitely would have been Braun Breaker would have been epic because again, they waiting to put the match on him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um Dang, that Roman, like I said, the Roman Reigns was perfect just because that's like
Roman Reigns was set up there though, man. It to me, this is my thing though, bro. Like you gotta really, like I said, you gotta really believe, that Gunther is an all-time great because I think that for John Cena to lose, it should be to someone who either is or on pace, or you believe them to be an all-time great
right.
player. Like it would to me, it would be like it would be like I remember one time, was it Randy Orton that lost the belt to Fandango?
Something like that, yeah.
It's something like that. You look back on it, right?
Or
And
maybe it
you
was
feel like
Jericho.
somebody did, but
Yeah,
an all-time great wrestler lost the title to Fandango, right? And this is when everybody was doing a little da 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 da, and maybe at the time they thought it's right? But
yeah.
it's one of the all-time kicks in the balls to me ever is that. And I hope for them that they really do believe that Gunther is an all-time great though.
Now if you wanted, now I wouldn't have minded being Cody had they not did a Cody match in his tour. Somebody else that should have at least have made an appearance in his tour should have been the Miz, bro. The Miz beat Cena in his lineage, like to get the belt. He got it from he remember he had the concussion when he won it in WrestleMania. The Miz should at least been they gave Logan Paul like 2 matches, bro.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
anyway,
Mid-card Miz.
I mean, I get it, but he has history with Cena though. If you're doing a farewell tour, you playing all the hits. He got CM Punk, he got Randy Orton, he got Cody. I'm just saying you could have put the Miz in the mix. You could have been real early, like
Yeah.
because the Miz for one is a good on the mic. There was times when Cena wasn't in the arena, so Miz could have
Yeah.
held it down on the mic. That just that's a no brainer to me.
I get it. I mean, it's straight.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of WWE, did you see that Mick Foley said he is removing himself from the parting ways with the WWE?
I did not see that.
So apparently, Mick Foley says, listen, I have had issues for quite some time now with WWE and their alignment with one Donald J. Trump. And because of that, he said, I can't get with it no more. And basically says, I'm parting my ways for them because of their support and their alignment with him, though, man.
Mhm.
Hey, that's different because you don't hear a lot of guys in wrestling bring politics into things. Even though Kane, I believe, is in politics. I think he's like a mayor or something like
He is.
that, though, bro. What's your thoughts on that, though, man?
I here's the thing. I respect that, but 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 why though? Like my thing is that politics is politics, and your job is your job. Like at some point, you got to be able to separate stuff. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not telling anybody if that's how you strongly believe and that's what you want to do. That's fine. I don't have an issue with that per se. But you like when I'm saying is this: when I think WWE, I don't immediately think Donald Trump. Like, do I know that they are associated with him? Is he in like the WWE Hall of Fame?
He's in the Hall of Fame, I think. Yeah, he's in the
He
Hall of
is.
Fame.
He is. I get it. And do I know Triple H is doing stuff? And do I know Linda McMahon is doing stuff? I know all of that. But when I think WWE, my brain doesn't go to like for when I'm saying is for me to even ask the question, why is he parting ways? Because I would have never put those two together.
Well, part of what he said that topped the cake was this president's recent comments about the person that passed away. I think it was David Renner. He
Uh,
said,
uh,
yeah,
Ron
that
Reynolds.
was one. Was it Rob Renner? He and his wife tortured and strangled, basically, though, right? And so I think that the boy Donald Trump got out there and said it's a very sad thing that happened in Hollywood. And it seemed like it was compassionate. And then he goes downfield and just shitting on bro the whole entire time. And so my thing is that listen, it's not I look at it like this, you could parted ways with him because this alignment with WWE a long time because he done gave you several opportunities now. I mean, he'll give you some more. This is just one of a long line, but I think that he just said, "Hey, you know what? This was just a little bit too much for me, and I'm for that reason I'm out, though, bro."
Like I said, I don't have any issue with people standing on their beliefs. Uh, yeah, that's all I can really say about that.
Mm, okay, okay. Hey, listen, man. It's this is kind of like one of these like fall, like winter season transitions for shows, though, bro. What you got new on deck? What you been watching, man?
Bro, so we are just now about to finish up Tulsa King so we can get straight into that Landman. We watched the first episode of season 2, so that's popping off. The Pit is popping off, which we trying to wait to get to, like, we need to
Never even
finish.
watched the Pit.
Oh my gosh, bro, the Pit is phenomenal. The Pit is dope. I still have never watched the It show, the Derby series. Uh, there's Stranger Things. I haven't watched it because I know there's like 2 parts. I haven't watched any of the Stranger Things. So there's a lot of Mayor Kingstown is back. So yeah, those the Landman is what everybody I'm sure is going to be talking about. But we want to wait to finish up Tulsa King before we move into Landman, because otherwise we wouldn't finish Tulsa King.
Hey, so you know it's funny, man. I've been watching, oddly enough, probably because I'm still freshly off of watching Game of Thrones for like the 8th time. There's a show called King and Conqueror, and the boy Jamie Lannister is in this one, and it seems very much like Game of Thrones, where he is playing a king of Normandy or Duke or Earl of Normandy, and they are basically invading England because he has been deemed the rightful heir to the throne by God. His brother is the Pope, right? And it's kind of funny too, that dynamic. Great show, especially coming off of watching Game of Thrones. It's very kind of medieval time like. So I've been watching that very heavily. Though I'm probably on like the last episode of that though. Great show though, man. And then I started watching that Spartacus though, bro. And I listen, man, listen. I think I was telling you offline. I love the gore. I absolutely love the gore because Spartacus is coming off of, like you think Spartacus, the original Spartacus was shot right around the time 300 was shot or right afterwards. And so to kind of see all the gore from 300 and watching in Spartacus, I mean, and seeing how they're dying in the arena, top notch. Absolutely love the gore though, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yep.
saw this girl. I saw this girl and I won't tell you the setup for it because I know you still watch it. I saw this girl slit this dude throat, and it was just a clean slit, and you would have never even thought that. The matter of fact, there is some epic deaths on this last on episode 5. I'll tell you, I think it's 5, 4 or 5 though, wherever it is though. But epic ones on. I said, yo, but I love where it's going. And the one thing I think that's cool about it is that it does set up to where you can go beyond this season, right? So it's like it's like I now once you've kind of defined the House of Asher, right? It basically sets you on up where you can keep it going. You see some potential ways that you can long term end the series, but at the same time, you see how you can build on up to it too, man. It's pretty good so far.
Yeah. Bro, let's get into this top story. The hot topic that's just taking over everybody's conversation, this Diddy doc. I know
Yeah.
when we first talked about it, you had some thoughts about 50 doing the doc. You thought it was a little suspect that he did it. Where are you at with that now?
So listen, I'm gonna be honest with you though, man. I'm not that far. I'm still pretty much where I originally was. So this is what I mean by it. So I think that the documentary was set in position to kind of guide your thoughts, right? When you're directing it, you're presenting evidence and you're presenting topics and you're trying to paint a picture. And because it's 50 Cent and his personal issues with Diddy, you know what I'm saying? He's trying to paint Diddy a certain way. And that's even including presenting facts, but almost like doing some misdirection on those facts. So right.
Mhm.
So like some of the things that get me like I didn't necessarily learn anything new from the documentary that you haven't. If you've seen several people talk about this, then you wouldn't hear anything new. But then outside of that, I mean, like if you are a historian of hip hop and stories in hip hop, then you also don't find anything, and you know things contrary to it. So, like I'm gonna tell you this specifically, the things that I necessarily have a problem with, and not to defend Diddy at all, but I'm talking about to present to to present a depiction of Diddy as if he had something to do with Biggie dying, and to present it as if he has something to do with Pac dying, like if he killed them, right? That's something that I think is wild because I mean, if you know that those people have there's already been admissions for that. That's already been found, like the people who that it's absolutely false. But I think that the way it's
Uh,
oh yeah, that listen, it's old. Like I'm talking
okay,
about, it's old,
this is
and the
this is the thing.
motivations too.
Yeah, but okay. You talking about admissions of stuff, right? But some of the people of the admission said that they got the word from Diddy, though. So how
Yeah,
is
but
that?
see, but this is my thing. As long as I've known, Keefe D has gotten on anywhere he could, and him and his brothers has admitted that they killed Biggie, right? In response, or in retaliation to Pop. But the way that this documentary positions it, it's almost as if Diddy is doing it because he don't want Biggie to leave him or whatever, whatever. It's like, no, there was already a specific motive behind that. And then the same with the Tupac, though, right? Like, yeah, you could the things that may have been true about how Diddy felt about Tupac, but to present it as if he had motive to do it, like that's the part that I think is just completely false, though.
But if the people who like the Fed tape that they're playing, and they're saying that Diddy is the one that paid them to do it, how is that like you? That's not a false statement.
I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is that when that's been presented in courts, right? In the findings, because okay, so this is what I'm saying. If that was true, though, right? If they presented that in a court, right, Diddy would have been arrested long time ago for that.
But there hasn't been. There's new information in the case because up until a couple of years ago, they didn't have who did what. So what I'm saying is, if
Yes,
oh, okay, but what I'm saying
listen,
is
listen.
this: you're saying it like they created some material to say this. What I'm saying is the Fed tape that they played is from the person who did it. He
Yeah,
cooperated. So if
I
he's
get that.
okay, so that's not a made up thing though. You're saying that
Right, but no, 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 it's not that. It's not that. What I'm saying is that them people been saying that. They've been saying that Diddy paid them to do it. And they've been saying that Diddy was supposed to give them payment that they didn't get. They've already been saying this for some years, though, right? And so my thing is that that's something all I'm saying is that for that, I didn't learn anything new. And the same way how we were saying, hey, well, you know what, Diddy, you know what? You are this domestic abuser, you're a wife beater, but you weren't convicted on those things. You weren't charged on those things. My thing is that that part is similar. That's something that, yeah, while that particular tape itself in itself might be new, but that conversation, right, has always been known. It's been known for some years. People, they have been saying that for years. And that's something that's already been known way back then, though, bro.
right, but the
Like I
case is
understand that
still
that's
open though with the Diddy stuff. I mean, with those cases though.
no, not that I'm aware of.
Yes, they are, bro. Like in the doc.
PPD
Listen,
already
listen what I'm saying. Listen, in the doc, after they would say this is where these cases are. Like they would say this is where this is at. This is where this is at. So what I'm saying is that is still an open case with the whole thing about them trying to put the stuff on Diddy for like it was an open case. That's why it was in the doc like that. This wasn't like presented to be new information. Like, oh, so if it's an open case, that's why he hasn't been arrested and stuff for it yet. There's new information.
Listen, man. I guess okay. I'm just saying that this, and then I understand that you're saying that's new information. All I'm saying is that the people who killed Tupac, I mean, the people who killed Biggie in response to Tupac, they have already been saying when they were questioned, right? When they were questioned originally, they said, yes, we did do it. They admitted it. And they said, yes, Diddy was. So I get that this is another person saying the same thing. But what I'm saying is that this has already been said. That wasn't anything new at all. Listen, Ace. Keefe D got on Vlad TV like 3 different times and basically said that though, bro.
Right. But he also just, the reason why he was saying it on Vlad, because he already made a deal with the feds to speak up, which is why we got the tape the way we did. I understand what you're saying, that all this information has been out there, but they couldn't. What I'm saying is it's enough new evidence to where it's open right now. So what I'm saying is
that part doesn't do anything. But okay, let's say I'll give you that if that's the case. For me, it doesn't do anything new. It doesn't tell me anything new. It doesn't change my perspective of it. It doesn't do anything. It's just like, now the thing that some of the stuff that I think that is crazy, right? Is the crazy part. I understand that there's business involved, but when Biggie died, when they was just like, oh yeah, Biggie died, and you basically wanted to make his funeral the biggest funeral that everybody's seen, but you wanted to be recoupable. I guess to me, that wasn't as big of a deal to me. I understood the business of that though, right? That if you're saying, hey, I'm gonna have a funeral for the world to see, and I'm going to spend this money, and I'm going to do it as a tax write-off. I'm going to spend as much as I want to then on it because it's going to be a tax write-off. I'm not mad at that part of it. It does seem on the surface slimy that you basically say, I made him pay for his own funeral, but it's like you're paying for it out of his contract and it's recouping, and that's the business part of it though. So I mean,
yeah, but it's what I think the people, why people are so like, why that's such a big deal, because you said that Diddy was your man's, right? And then if you're gonna pay for it out of a business expense, then pay for it from Bad Boy and recoup the expenses from it business wise. Why is it coming out of Biggie's contract when, if the man is dead, the assets and everything should go to whoever, and then changing the contract and stuff like that. That's the slime ball part.
Changing the contract gets slime ball, but listen, they used to say that Baby did the same thing though, right?
Okay, and so that doesn't make it any less slime ballish.
It doesn't make it any less slime. So that part is changing contracts afterwards. That's the part that make it real slime ballish. But if you're saying like Ace, if I passed away, and you said, if somebody said, yo, Ace, you know what though, bro? You can host a funeral for him. And by you doing the funeral for him, you can throw a $10 million funeral from him that you could basically do as a tax write-off. All you have to do is this for Charlie. You could just say, let's say outside of you changing my contracts, right? Well, let's just say if you just said, no, there's a way that you can basically say, oh, you know what, this was a recoupable expense, basically, so you get the money back from it though, bro. Like I don't see why.
But if I told Nequa I was gonna pay for your funeral, but then I did it through some money that should go to her, that's what I have an issue with. If I tell Nequa I'm gonna pay for your funeral, but then the money that I'm paying for it with is money that should go to her because she's your next of kin, that's foul. Yeah. If I come out on TV and say, yo, I got Charlie's my boy, I'm paying for his funeral, I got everything, but then it comes out that I paid for it with some money that should have went to Nequa because now that you're dead, nah, that's wrong.
Now listen, the thing that I think that these are some things that I think that's just kind of, when you look at the people who were doing the interviews, right? Mm-hmm. Like the dude with the dreads, who was one of the dudes that was the founder, that said Diddy walked up on him with the bat and said, give me your 25%. like I think that that's one thing. It definitely to me felt like him and Diddy when he was suing Diddy for sexual assault and everything
Mhm.
himself though, right? And my thing is that it felt to me like when I was watching it, I was like, yo, no, I think that I it felt like to me, bro, that him and Diddy were like a couple. Like he seemed scorned to me, not just from the money aspect of it, but he seemed to me like he was a scorned lover to me, though, bro.
I mean, I've heard even people say that about Lil Rod, right? Like they felt like, oh, if you would have got your money from getting paid from doing the
Hey,
Love album, then
hey,
you would have been down for whatever
hey,
because you was waking up with dudes.
listen,
Yeah.
listen, bro. And this is my thing. It's like I get it, but it's like to me, I think that that's my thing. You presented a bunch of people who have some type of issue with him. And I think that if you present some non-biased people who are just people who speak, it's almost like it's like you're doing a character witness of people who just can't stand it.
Okay. So what about the the jurors? They didn't have a.
The juror had a relationship with Diddy. They pulled up old pictures of her and Diddy. She was a fan,
She said she was a fan. So you got
right?
somebody that
But
so she has no. So if she's a fan, that's not somebody who scorned against Diddy.
yeah, but my thing is that she had put this when the black girl, she
Yeah.
looked like regardless she looked like regardless that she was going to vote the way that she wanted. She voted in favor of Diddy. That's the reason
Right.
why
So
she didn't go hard on.
you helping my point. So you just said most
Right,
of the people you said everybody in the doc was biased. I'm saying she
right. But she,
wasn't.
well, no, I'm saying, but no, but this is my thing. She has a bias in herself. It just wasn't in
She's
favor of the
biased for
documentary.
him though. But you're saying the
Right, right,
people
right.
you said the people everybody in the doc was scorned. That's what I'm saying. She
Listen,
wasn't.
not everyone. I said that you have everyone who has a bias toward him, whether it's good or bad. I'm just saying you should have non-biased people that just says, "Hey, this is what happened." Somebody who doesn't have an issue, someone who doesn't care, someone who doesn't stand to win or have lost anything.
But I think this was a doc to present people who had like you had multiple people that had issues with him that all pretty much were having the same reaction as far as being done wrong in a way against him. There if somebody wants to make the reverse doc, I mean you that's any documentary though.
Sure, sure. But listen, because that's just like you can. I'm sure there are people that you can find. That's why he was calling around to see, hey, I need you to be a character witness. I need you to do a character. I'm pretty sure Diddy can find 10 people who have nothing but good things to do to sing his
Mhm.
praise.
Right.
So you have, and that's just like if you have Stevie J, he's only gonna say good. All of the hitmen probably gonna say something good. Mary J, all gonna say something good. Like he can find people, and that's what I'm saying. I think that
Okay.
this was
But
just
let
a
me
good
ask you a
time.
question though. Let me ask you a question. What about Diddy talking bad about Diddy though?
What do you mean?
The footage of Diddy doing Diddy stuff on camera, like the stuff like how people talked about how power hungry he was or how manipulative he was, and the stuff that he was like the, the footage that everybody's like, how did 50 get this footage of Diddy talking to his lawyers, of Diddy in the car after he just got done talking to people on the street, like the stuff that it was he was incriminating his own self. What you got to say
I
about
think
that
that
footage?
so again, I think it's ridiculous that you're filming yourself and you don't have all the rights to it. So for that, that is what it is. But here's my thing about it: you have hundreds of hours of it, and you basically cherry pick certain clips, right, for the film, that one that paints that particular narrative of him. So I get it. He said it. He did it. That is what it is, though, right? He's like, don't be that way, and there's
Okay,
no footage of you
well let me
doing it.
well let me ask you
I'm not.
this.
I'm not.
But do you okay? Outside of what you perceive as the bias towards this doc, right? Do you believe any of the stuff?
No, I do. I do, right? I'm just saying that I didn't learn anything new from it. The
Yeah,
thing that
but
either
that's
this
because
the
you were connected. You were connected, like you were almost in the industry, so to speak, right? But this, I don't think that this doc was all just for people who knew about the stuff because there were
Right.
things I did learn in it, even though I was connected to some of the stories. There were some
Yeah,
details.
I did. I do that. There may have been some additional details,
Mhm.
but I don't feel like I learned very much anything new. Here's the thing I think that's crazy though. The things that I learned that were the new stuff, right? Like the some of the personal stories, I appreciated those because it does give you context. But it's like if you're trying to pay, like this is my thing.
Mhm.
Like Eric Sermon saying that Diddy was mad that he was talking to old girl, so he came to his car and punched him in the face. And then he said, "Yo, hop in my car, man. Let's go around the corner to throw hands, right?" And then he says, "Yo, hold on, man. Let me let you play this. Let me let you hear this Biggie tape." And I'm just like, see stuff like that. And this is the problem that I have now. Eric Sermon, timing wise, he has this, he's in the Diddy documentary, and now he has an album out that comes out right after the documentary, and now he's also on a press tour to talk about his album. It's like, come on, man. It's like that when I went it's like I do appreciate the stories though, bro, but it's almost like the motive though, man. Is that's the thing. I just like I would love to just hear an unbiased version of the truth that doesn't have a
Yeah, but
motive, that isn't trying to paint.
here's
It's
the
that
thing
these
though.
are we're presenting the facts.
But that's the thing. Their perception is their reality though.
That's true. I get that.
So
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that comment actually, because I think that for me, I understand. Like I'm not. That's why I think I told you a long time ago, man, that I'm not gonna argue. I'm not gonna argue somebody else's truth. Like that's their perspective of something that happened.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I don't want to be one to try to argue off of your perspective of the truth, though, right? That's you, right? It's just if I experience that same truth a different way and it's different from yours, you can't tell me I'm lying. I can't tell you that you're lying, though, right? So I get this that their perspective is their truth, though, right? I just think that in the end, though, man, I felt like because 50 was involved with it,
Mhm.
that 50 has a direct motive of embarrassing. You know what I honestly believe? I've always been trying to figure out what is 50's motive behind it, right? And I think that, do you know what I honestly believe? This is that we might want to slide in allegedly here, though, right?
Yeah.
But 50 always talked about how Diddy took him out, offered him to take him shopping, right? Asked him to want to go shopping. I honestly believe that Diddy was trying to get at 50, bro, like trying to holler at 50. Because 50 released, apparently 50 released not that long ago, like some text messages of Diddy trying to invite him over for some drinks at the late hour. I think that Diddy was trying to holler at 50 though, bro. And maybe 50 didn't, maybe 50 felt some kind of way about like you really trying to holler. And then to make it even more, I think that somewhere down the line, though, bro, there had to have been some kind of rift that happened between them two, where they actually would have had or exchanged words in some capacity or whatever that situation was. And then Diddy goes and get with his girl and has a baby by her. And I think that it's like now your ops then went and had a baby with your girl. It's just like I see that he might hate Diddy, but there has to be something else that happened between 50, because you can't just be like, yeah, I just don't like him. He ain't a good person. No, something personally happened. And I just feel like that Diddy was really trying to get at 50, bro.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I get that, but I also feel like when I watched the doc, I never saw a 50 thumbprint on it to me. Like I'm glad that 50 didn't do any interviews in the doc. Like the doc just felt like a very well crafted documentary to me. Uh I never watched any of the R. Kelly joints, as I'm sure it was like leaning towards the same way of people who were scorned by Kells. I never watched any of the Michael Jackson doc. You know what I'm saying? Uh this one just felt like I just wanted to see like the fact that what drew me into wanting to see it was because they had footage of Diddy saying the stuff Diddy was saying. That's what drew me in, not so much the other stuff. It was Diddy is saying this stuff on camera. This ain't AI. Like
Yeah,
this is Diddy
yeah.
saying it. Like, hold on, get this angle. Or if I stand over here and do this, then oh, like I don't have a voice, but y'all got a voice. Y'all could be saying something, or like you on CNN, but the TikTok is where it's popping. Like all of that stuff. That's that. I mean, it was cool to see his mindset on trying to win a
Yeah.
case, because I mean, you fighting for your life.
You
But it
could
was
tell he
just,
was desperate.
you could tell he was desperate, and he was trying to remove, like he was trying to. He's like, look, y'all are the professionals, and I'm trying to give y'all the space to do it, but we're losing. That part I didn't have an issue with. But you know, I don't know. I didn't again. I know that there are three sides to a story, but I liked the way everything was presented. I still thought it was professionally done. I didn't feel like it was just like just a complete slander job. Because I mean, here's the thing: the last episode to me was almost shooting Diddy bail, because you got the jurors on there saying why they voted the way that they did. And we know ultimately he quote unquote got off with what he could have been charged for, right?
Yeah.
So to me, you presented all this evidence of how much power he has, how much he was able to do X, Y, and Z and manipulate people and do this, and got off from this and got off from there. All it did was present a story of him having all of this power and feeling like he can get away with stuff. But ultimately, this is where we still ended up in the same spot.
Didn't do him any favors, bro. Didn't do him any favors it didn't do you any favors that you knowingly recorded yourself, got this footage out there. You gotta know it's gonna go to the highest bidder. You gotta know it's gonna go to the highest bidder.
But you know why that footage was available? Because of some of the same thing that happened in the doc, right? You don't pay people.
Yeah. You like to think, bro, they say you worth the Billy. Why do you have a problem with paying thousands if you worth the Billy?
That's what I'm saying. That was the narrative that was told in the doc. So it matched, it made sense. So that wasn't a far stretch.
But here's the thing about it. But this is again when you talk about the idea of painting a picture, because the same way how you had this as a narrative, a theme through this of you not paying people, you could very well create a documentary where somebody's talking about, all this dude did was pay for this. He paid me, he gave me this money, he got it. Like when you only are highlighting the bad parts of somebody and you never highlight their good deeds, sure, you can paint that picture for them. Like there's the thing about it, though, man. You think about that, though, Ace. If somebody only put together a reel of your low lights, they can make you look a certain way to somebody who don't know you, bro.
Right, but to me though, this doc wasn't the job of this doc, and I'm okay with that, because again, there should be somebody to, like you said, if you can find 3 people that got something bad to say, you can find 10 that say something good. So then let them put the doc out on everything Diddy's done well for them.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, for the purpose of this doc, all I'm saying is it looked professional to me. In my personal opinion, I didn't feel like it had a 50 thumb on it. Like,
don't get me wrong, it was good. It was really good. Like I watched it all the way through, and it was good. I do feel like Diddy would. I only feel like 50 involvement was because it supported the narrative and what he's been pushing about Diddy. Otherwise, I don't think that he would have been involved.
Yeah.
Hey man, we are 9 days away from Christmas, though, bro. You got all your Christmas shopping done?
I am not. I won't be done until the last week of Christmas. But I mean, I know where everything is at. Like all the big stuff is good. Like if we closed it out today, I'd be straight. But there's still some other things that I want to seal up, though.
Yeah, I think I'm about the same, man. I think that oddly enough, bro, I think I'm going to I'm gonna of course be doing more Christmas shopping probably on this week. I think I'm gonna try to do a little bit here and there every day this week. I don't think I'm that far away from being done with the gifts that I wanted to buy though, man. So yeah, I think that it should be a good week though. I don't think I'll be scrambling too much. But oddly enough though, man, I'm one of the people who, when people say that they don't like to be in the hustle and bustle of shopping and in malls, I do, man. I love that though, man. So I think that I might actually just get out and about in the malls this weekend just to be on that time though, bro.
Yeah. Well, cool, bro. Well, look, we appreciate y'all for joining us. We are the Slash Brothers, Ace Kennedy, Charlie V, from ATL to OKC, and we will see y'all next time. We out.
greatest podcast. The greatest podcast.
Can you dig it,
of all time.
sucker?